Well, the House is still grinding through votes on the must-pass defense authorization bill just a day after the Rules Committee cleared the way for the NDAA to advance. House Speaker Mike Johnson is working to lock down support, reportedly from 5 GOP holdouts. And another major fight is brewing on Capitol Hill. As we mentioned, the battle over the expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. The Senate votes Thursday on the GOP's replacement plan, while the House is preparing for its own action next week amid growing concerns over rising health care cost. Joining me now is Washington Stand reporter Casey Harper, who has been following today's stories. Casey, it appears the Senate, the Republicans of the Senate have coalesced around a health care plan. What can you tell us about this plan and how they expect it to turn out?
Well, thanks, Tony. The Senate is set to vote tomorrow on 2 health care plans, as lawmakers are up against the deadline. Premiums are on the verge of doubling for up to 24 million Americans when COVID-era subsidies end this year. Democrats, they want to extend those subsidies for 3 more years. Republicans want to replace them with $1,500 direct payments for health savings accounts. Here's what Senate Majority Leader John Thune said about the Republican proposal.
Our members have decided that we're going to vote on a Crapo-Cassidy proposal, which does the things that I mentioned. It actually does make health insurance premiums more affordable. It drives down, according to the Congressional Budget Office, premiums by double-digit levels. It delivers the benefit directly to the patient, not to the insurance company, and it does it in a way that actually saves money. So to the taxpayer. That is a win-win proposal.
Now, that Republican plan, it also blocks money from being used for abortion or so-called gender transition care. It also cuts Medicaid funds to states that cover undocumented immigrants. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said that the Republican proposal is a non-starter. President Trump supports it, but as of now, Tony, neither the Democrat nor the Republican plan has the votes to pass.
By the way, folks, you can weigh in on this important debate because we have staked out ground saying that nothing should advance without Hyde protections, ensuring that you as a taxpayer are not forced into the abortion business. So to join that effort, text ACA to 67742. That's ACA, those 3 letters, to 67742. Casey, on another matter, I understand that there was a hearing today on Israel. What are the details about that hearing?
Yeah, that's right, Tony. So the House Subcommittee on the Middle East and North Africa held an open hearing earlier today on Judea and Samaria and how that territory shapes U.S.-Israel relations. Now, Professor Eugene Kontorovic testified at the hearing. He argued that Israel's presence in the area is legal. He also said that if Israel chooses to create a Palestinian state, they could reject the idea of the old 1949 lines defining it. Morton A. Klein, the national president of the Zionist Organization of America, he said in his testimony that Israel has historic claims to the land. He criticized international moves to recognize a Palestinian state.
Establishing a Palestinian state would send a terrible message that terrorism pays. There are 21 Arab states and 1 little Jewish state. That's the yellow. It's 600 times the size of the Arab world. We need peace. If Israel doesn't have control of the Jewish heartland, Judea and Samaria, peace will be impossible. Again, Judea and Samaria, Jewish Israeli land, is Jewish land legally, religiously, biblically, politically, and morally.
Now, meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar today. The meeting comes ahead of talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Trump on that fragile Gaza ceasefire. Netanyahu is scheduled to visit the U.S. on December 29th for talks on the next phase of that ceasefire, Tony.
Well, speaking of peace and ceasefire, what can you tell us about the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia and how those are progressing with the U.S. leading the way?
Sure. So Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he said he met today with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and other senior American officials to discuss plans for rebuilding the country, which of course has been destroyed by the war there. Now, this is what President Trump said moments ago at the White House about the talks.
The leaders of France, we spoke to, and Germany, and UK, all very good leaders, very good friends of mine, and we discussed Ukraine in pretty strong words. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we're waiting to hear answers before we progress.
Now, those talks centered on a key economic document. Jared Kushner and BlackRock CEO Larry Fink also took part. Zelensky, he says both sides are fully aligned on the document's principles as Ukraine pushes forward with reconstruction. Tony.
All right. Thanks so much, Casey. Appreciate the update.